What is a strong woman? Should we call women strong, right? Right? Because I want to talk about this because last week I had one of my shows I did was basically about how we treat black women, right? Like how in society, um, systematic racism, men to a degree, like how we demean our women, how black women are like double minorities. Like they have to deal with being a woman in society. They also have to deal with being black in society. Like our women have it pretty tough, as do we, right? But here's my thing, family, and y'all can chime in on this if you want to. Like calling a woman strong, and I was having a conversation with my woman yesterday, and it hit me a little bit, right? Because what's the opposite of strong? It's like weak, right? So what are we actually saying when we call a woman strong? Now, should a woman be able to hold her own? Should a woman be able to work? Should a woman be able to hold down the house? Should a woman be able to hold down finances? Like most of the shit we do, this is my take on it. Most of the things we do, a woman should be able to do as well. Now we understand the strength levels, right? If something needs to be picked up, if something needs to be handled that's physically heavy, right? As a man, I'm gonna take that, right? But a lot of the things that we go through, or a lot of the things that we try to accomplish as people, women are doing the same thing. So I'm not gonna call a woman, because call a woman strong. I don't call men strong, right? So when we say strong, what are we actually saying when we talking to a woman? Calling them strong, calling them independent. There are positive attributes that come with this, but overall, this can have a negative effect on our community, and it has had a negative effect on our community, right? Because I was reading this article about like the strong black woman trope. And it was kind of going over, just like I read an article a few weeks ago about how, this 16-year-old girl got slammed in her high school by like an officer, some type of officer that was working there. So he slammed her to the ground. Some of the worst shit you ever want to see, right? And that article was just basically saying that in society, black women, black girls are often treated as an adult as a really early age, right? And that happens to black boys too. So that's something we need to kind of realize. Our children, men, male and female, our children are constantly attacked by the system and made to feel as if they're adults, right? Made to feel as if they have to take care of more responsibility than they need to. And sometimes, as parents, we make this even worse by calling your son the man of the house. I've done a show about that a long time ago. That's a horrible fucking thing to do, family. Your son is not the man of the house. He's a 12-year-old. He's 11. Let him be 12. Let him be 11. You know what I mean? Let him play. Let him be a kid. Like putting that responsibility on him can have a negative effect. He can think he's the man of the house, and what ends up happening, he feel that he has to participate, like he has to be involved in making the money. He got to be involved in paying the bills. And if he's too young to work and you live in a particular environment, he may see fit to go about things a certain way to get, and this is going to be a negative thing, family. Even a young girl. We got a young girl who's been put in charge of taking care of her younger siblings. She's been put in charge of cooking or cleaning or doing any of these things that are really made for adults. That's not really a positive thing, family. We need to get out of that shit. Like our homes need to have a man and a woman, so the man and the woman is doing most of these tasks and not relying on a child. We have these single parent homes sometimes where the kid gets relied on. The kid can't really go kick it. The kid can't really do much because mama is relying on them to make the food or relying on them to babysit. You know what I mean? There's nothing wrong with you helping out as a young person. You should want to help out in your household, but our kids need to be children. You know what I mean? Our kids need to be treated as children. And again, when I say strong black woman, I think of mentally strong, like mental fortitude, right? Being able to handle a lot of things, being able to use discernment, being able to be a go-getter to a degree, right? But we're not referring to the physical strength of a woman, but in reality, we need to be careful when we use these terms because white society will use these same terms against us, right? Calling you a strong woman, you a strong woman, you a strong woman. Now all of a sudden they throwing shade at us. Now all of a sudden you don't need no man, right? Now we getting into some more other shit because in white society they don't do that. White women need a man. They never claim they don't need a man. They never have. Have you ever heard a white woman say she independent? Think about that shit. Have you ever heard a white woman say she's strong? My strong white sisters, right? Shit sound weird, right? These are colloquialisms and these are cloaks that are put on our community specifically. And if we're not clear and if we're not sure about what's going on, these things have a negative effect on our community, right? Because last week I was speaking about how black women need to be protected. I was speaking about, because I was talking about an individual I know who was speaking negatively about black women, comparing black women to other races of people, saying other races of women are more subservient and all these different things. And this is the mindset that's created by this system. Like, I don't think no black man came up with that kind of conclusion on its own. It's what society shows you, right? Because he's telling me about how black women aren't strong, black women are too overpowering, all these things. And sometimes it's us, like, as men, we have to be clear on what we're bringing to the table, right? If that balance isn't correct, you may push a woman to doing some of these things, right? What'd you say, Ruby BC? Very true, Ruby. Very true. It is a double-edged sword because, like I was saying, you can take the positives out of that statement. Like, yeah, she's strong. She can handle things. She has, you know what I mean. She's always there for her family. She's headstrong. She knows how to take care of her finances. Things happen in her life, and she isn't shook as much. Like, these are positive things. All people should display these kind of strengths, right? But when we get to our women, we got to factor in everything that they've been through. Let me see here. And it's something else I wanted to read that I read here about young black girls, about dark skinned girls too, right? Because we got to understand in our society, there still is colorism, right? I was telling you guys about a movie I seen called The 24th. In The 24th, about a military regime in Houston, Texas, or whatever. But the leader, like the guy who he was a writer too. He was like a revolutionary brother, but he was light skinned, right? So because he was light skinned and he was articulate, he got a lot of shit. Like, they didn't allow him to lead at first. Simply, and a dark skinned brother confronted him and all this simply because he high yellow and how he talks. So we got this level of colorism that we face in our own community. And dark women, we need to be completely clear about that. Darker skinned women face this way more, right? So let me see here. Hold on one second. So, a 2014 report from Columbia Law School Center for Intersectionality and Social Policy Studies and African American Policy Forum found that black women are 6 times more likely to face out of class suspensions for the same infractions as their white peers. And that's something that I read to you guys before, right? But this is something that I didn't know. Darker skinned black girls are almost twice as likely to receive a suspension than their own light skinned black female peers. A 2017 study in School Psychology Quarterly found, according to a 2017 University of Florida Levin College of Law study examining violence against black women, black girls are perceived as needing less protection and nurturing, right? Hence, that cop who slammed that black girl at that school, he slammed her like she was a goddamn animal. And this is kind of speaking to that, right? You see here. Needing less protection and nourishing and more knowledgeable about sex. Think about that. Think about that. What kind of shit? So it's basically saying that if you 11, 12-year-old girl, you already know about fucking, right? Right? That's a horrible, that's something horrible to put on our community when throughout history our women have been getting raped. Like during slavery times, they wasn't just busting it open for the white slave master, they was getting raped. You know what I mean? Even now, and this happens in all communities, but even now, our young girls get raped by family members, by uncles, by cousins. You know what I mean? I'm not too sure what the numbers are on that, but I know a lot of women who've had to deal with that type of molestation in home, right? So again, look at what black women have to face. They are dealing with the people outside of our community who see them a particular way, who has always seen them a particular way, right? And then we got no good nothing ass niggas in our community. Let's keep it real, because we have to be fair and call whoever out that's doing us wrong. And we got these creepy ass uncles and friends of the family, so to speak, that then raped hell of our little girls, and they don't talk about it because of the in my opinion, the negative effect of how that may seem, right? Young girls are conditioned when they are sexually active or too sexually active, they get conditioned as hoes and being fast, right? So I think this will make a young girl pause before they tell. Some young people tell what happened, and our stupid asses protect whoever that may be, right? We got to keep it real. We all know family members who they know he didn't touch young so and so. They know he touching some of the young girls in the family, but nobody want to bring his ass in. Nobody want to call the police on his ass. They call him sick or oh something just wrong with Uncle Charles. No, Uncle Charles need his ass fucked up. He need to go to jail. You see what I'm saying? So this is some of the dysfunctions that we have normalized in our community. You know what I mean? So I want to continue reading this real quick. These assumptions lead to the hyper sexualization of black girls in our own communities, with black men calling them fast or promiscuous and engaging in predatory behavior towards them. Just like I was saying, family, this leads to some of our uncles or cousins seeing a little 11-year-old girl who's developing quick, who thinks she want to have sex with you or thinks she wearing those shorts because she's trying to turn you on. You see what I'm saying? So we need to call out the members of our community who do this same thing, family. And it's not a black man or a white woman thing. It ain't no separatism. Like, we all in this shit together. Like I said last week, we at the bottom of a goddamn slave ship together, and you want to fight about who make more money, or you want to fight about who wearing the pants, or you want to fight about all this stupid shit that don't really mean nothing. You know what I mean? And again, we need to realize that the damn near like the tribalism we display against man and woman in our community, other races of people don't do that. Like, our black women need to realize that to a degree, you need a man in your life. If you have a child, that child needs a man. Like, this whole independent shit, that hasn't helped us, family. That hasn't helped us, family. The women in our community who claiming this independent shit, who are using this welfare system against the men in our community, none of this is helping us. What'd you say, Ruby? Yeah. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you're right. All of us have that experience where we have a uncle or somebody who is a damn pedophile. And he and some of these dudes lived forever damn near. Like, he never went to jail. You know what I mean? You got and think about that for a young girl who 11 years old. You looking at a 54-year-old man who used to play with your ass when you was a kid. Who want to be around that? You know what I mean? How is she supposed to go into a new relationship or a relationship with a man with her head on tight when she's used to this predatory ass environment? You know what I mean? So let's see here. I think I had one other thing I wanted to read about this. Let me see here. And again, the system plays us against each other because a lot of our women now are more educated simply because of how many men are in jail or how many men are gay now. You know what I mean? The actual numbers of qualified black men that are available in our society keeps going down lower and lower. You see what I'm saying? So the moral of the story, y'all, is we got to stick together. The moral of the story is we got to see how this system attempts to play us against each other. And a lot of times when we're unknowledgeable, we go for it. You know what I mean? So can a woman be strong? Can a woman be a strong black woman? Yeah, but add context. Like, what does that mean exactly? That don't mean she got to carry the whole load. That don't mean she got to do shit on her own to the point where she negates the fact that a man can be beneficial to her. You know what I mean? Even like I said, even the independent woman shit, that one right there, I think we need to get rid of that altogether. Because again, no other woman in other communities use independent. No other women in other communities use strong. That's like some specifically black shit, and we need to ask ourselves why. You know what I mean? Because I'm being a man, like, you want a woman that has the ability to handle things, right? You want a woman that has the ability to get things done for your household, but all of that is things you guys decide on your, like, inside of your house. Like I was saying on the previous show, I don't do traditions too much. Like, I think traditions should be created by whoever's in the house. Like, if you want to celebrate Christmas, celebrate holidays, get married, if you want to take all the traditional routes in society, that's fine. But just know, family, you don't got to. You two create what the new tradition is going to be. You guys get together and create how you want things to go. Like, who's going to do what in the home. Because people outside of your house are always going to have something to say about what should happen, but they don't know shit. They're going to be the same ones sitting there when you get divorced laughing behind your back. Or when you break up laughing behind your back. You know what I mean? So people outside of your house shouldn't really have a say-so in how things work. But we need to be honest. Like, like I was speaking about last week, someone I was talking to kept mentioning the single home rate, and I broke that down last week how that's not factoring in for fathers who don't live with their kids, fathers who get their kids on the weekends, fathers who get their kids every other weekend. So, studies have shown that to a degree, black fathers who are around their kids compared to other men who are around their kids, we're more active in our kids' lives, right? So these are facts, but at the end of the day, it still needs to be more two-parent homes. Like we need to be real about. I don't know where y'all was raised, but where I was raised, I was one out of six friends. Like two of my friends had their parents, right? And when I went into my school and just went to like associates, not my friends, the numbers was even less than that, right? So yeah, the system, the welfare system, the prison industrial complex, war on drugs. There's definitely been an attack on our community, which contributed to all of these things. But like I always say on this show, family, we need to realize that we have a say so, right? The point of learning about what's happened to us is so you can navigate through that shit. That's the point of learning about it. Not to learn about it to say, oh, woe is me, I can't get nowhere, I can't progress because of what this white man done to me. That's not the case at all, but you can't take off of the table what's been done to us by people outside of our community, right? So are our women strong? Yes, but not in the sense that's being used in society. And we have to be able to differentiate that as a community of people, right? And if we have young girls, make sure they understand that. And again, having a father in the home too can help with this whole independent attitude, because then there's a balance. They'll see a man and a woman working together, and they'll have a better understanding of how that works, opposed to the single parent home shit where too much pressure gets put on children at time. You know what I mean? So man, do me a favor, y'all. If you haven't already, please like this video. Please share the video. If you're watching this on Facebook, you're watching this on YouTube, please share the video. The website, melanatedfathers.com is being restructured. The website should be available in a new week, in a couple of weeks, which will, just create another place where you can get my content. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube page, which is Melanated Fathers TV, on YouTube, please do that. We're almost at 3,000 subscribers. So please, 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 if you know somebody, send them the video. Let's comment. Let's talk about it. All of this is for, just so you guys are aware, all of this is for constructive dialogue. Like when we look on the internet and a lot of the things that go on social media, our people, we're kind of enamored by nigga shit to a degree. You know what I mean? We want to be entertained. We want to look at fat asses. We want to laugh and all that. That's good. Me too. Like I I enjoy those things too, right? But it has to be a balance. It has to be a balance of critical thought so we can get through some of the things that happen to us. Because again, the system does a number on us, but if we critically thought our way through all of these things, we can avoid some of these pitfalls, right? So this has been another episode, man, of the Melanated Convo podcast. I want to thank everybody again for watching the show. I'm out.